Here's this week's challenge. So I'm going to measure and put some blocking underneath so that I can add some rolling wheels to this workbench. So I'm going to put these rollers on, and I might even have 6. So I'm going to put them in a little bit so that they can turn without hitting anything. Not that I think they would on the ends. I mean, I could put it on the end and it won't impede anything, but I think putting it in a little bit will be better, because then I'll be sure of having a flat surface. So, and I might put one more in the middle on each side. So, because I have some more of these rollers. So now I can work on the bottom of the inside with a little help from gravity. Now let's see if we can get it on the floor. And I can work on the top and the inside.
I hated handling this jigsaw, and I ended up buying a new one after this because I hate the way this works. If you pick up the jigsaw, your hand automatically goes right onto the trigger, and it's super dangerous to use, and it just doesn't cut very well. So I bought a different one, and it doesn't have a cord. It's a cordless, and I like it a lot. I feel so much safer with the different one. It's actually a DeWalt. And they probably make a lot of different really good jigsaws. It's just... this was really hard. Cumbersome.
It might make a big noise. And my little TV table will tip up, but it has wheels on it. It'll go back down. And hopefully this will kind of brace itself on here, and I can continue to bring it down. So we'll see. We shall see.
Not sure at all why I had a mask on. I just forgot to take it off. I'm just in a complete dilemma trying to figure out how to move this off the table.
I have another idea.
And that's probably why I forgot to take my mask off. I was just thinking about moving this cabinet. But I always come up with some great idea. I leave this messiness in because I think it's funny. And I mean, don't we all go through these things where we can't figure things out? And we just kind of bump around and try to do our best to get something done.
Hi, Cookie. Good, how are you? I haven't seen you in a long time.
How's the walking up here? We go usually right when it gets late in the morning. We're out walking.
Oh, really? Did you see any bears?
Yep.
No bears.
No.
At that time.
Oh, yeah.
I've already removed that ornamental trim because it was mostly broken and it would have gotten in the way if it was being used as a workbench.
Okay. So I've gone over it with some sandpaper. I filled it with some putty. I'm going to have to fill it some more. I ended up, it was too dry, so what I ended up doing was making a slurry. But I can feel it more than I can see the grooves. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it with some acrylic around the whole thing if I can, if I don't run out. And then I'm going to give it a base coat of primer, and then I'll do the top again, because at that point I'll be able to see a little bit better. It's not going to be a tabletop, it's a workbench surface. But you know, I want it to at least start off decently. So yeah, I'll at least make that smooth. But yeah, so a little bit of acrylic and a little bit of primer. And yep, I'll probably do some shellac on the body because it looks like it's going to be quite a bleeder. I think it's mahogany, I believe. So yeah. So I went to pick up some stock this morning because I need a trim that will fit in here below my work surface, and I needed a few other things, and I went to Lowe's and realized I forgot my cards and, you know, my wallet, quote unquote. I don't have a wallet, but I use a different thing for a wallet. I went all the way over there, and then by the time I got back, it was time to open the shop, so I'll have to try it again tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'm going to put a coat of paint on, and I'll have to do this part over once I get the trim, but that's no big deal. So yeah, I'll get it. It's just one of those things, you know, you forget. So I'm going to fix this crack right here in the veneer. It's the worst one. I mean, I'm not fixing every single dent on this because I'm using it as a workbench, but this is pretty significant. It goes the entire length of the inside of the door, so I'm going to fix it and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So you don't have to do this, but I decided to put a little bit of tape on either side of the crack. That way I'm not getting tons of sticky glue on my veneer. I'll shorten it a little bit, make it easier to control. I started to put some glue on it, and then I said, no, I think I will protect the veneer with a little bit of tape. Okay, I heated up my old brown glue. It's a hide glue, and that makes it easy to pour. And I poured some of it already into this little container. And I'm going to spread it apart with a little bit of help with my scraper here. It's just an old paintbrush. Let's see. I'll give it some resistance by opening it all the way. Okay. So I put one across the center, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. We'll try it. I didn't see it until after I painted, but I'm going to fix it now. These are very, very light clamps. And then I can give it another coat of paint. So I'm going to freshen up the insides by doing a little bit of gel stain and see how that works and leave it dry a couple of days. It's a Minwax mahogany stain. I poured it in a little container and I have a little sponge and I'll apply it with a sponge. I don't know if you can see or not. I don't think you will be able to see because my head's going to get in the way. So, going to catch up in a minute.
I would not normally do this on a veneer repair. The only reason I'm doing it and using putty to mend it is because I'm going to use it as a work cabinet. And I know myself, if I get too fussy with making it too pretty and too nice, I'm not going to want to use it.
So I got some trim for underneath this morning, and I'm going to put that on. Okay, so I filled in some of the nail holes that I put in there yesterday when I was nailing. Once I get the nail gun in my hand, I just start nailing. No, I'm just kidding, but some of them I just missed originally. And you can't always see the places where you have a little hole or a divot when you before you put your paint on. And where I'm not using a primer, I mean, I used clear shellac, but that doesn't help me see any divots or anything. It just kind of protects and coats the wood for whatever finish I'm going to put on. And so I put 2 coats of paint. This is a chalk paint on the top, a blended chalk paint, a custom color that I had left over. The bottom is like a cabinet enamel. It's a mist tint that I got at Lowe's. Really nice paint. But I have to go over it a little bit with some sandpaper after filling in the holes. And the top is a piece of plywood. And I did a lot of putty on top of it before I painted it, but even still, like the putty sinks down and you can see all the wavy lines in the plywood. So I just made a putty wash and did the entire thing. Now this morning I will go over it with a sander, orbital sander, just to smooth it out. And then I will do one more coat of my custom color, and I'll do another coat of the enamel, and I'm going to sand down that veneer and do a little bit of gel stain on that part, which I haven't done yet. The rest has been gel stain. It looks really good. This was a really beaten up piece. It's not perfect, of course. There are still some marks in there, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. So, yep, that's where I am this morning, and I should be done later on, hopefully. Oh, so that took a little bit of my finish off, unfortunately. Okay, so the top is drying, and I'm going to do a coat or two of this Helmsman by Minwax, because I tend to make a mess on things, and hopefully that will allow me to wipe off stains more easily. But hey, it's a workbench. So because I struggle so much with an uneven floor, I got these leveling feet, and they're very easy to put on. And so, yep, I'm going to put these under and then mark it, my holes with a magic marker. Then I'm going to make some little holes here. Some of it has blocking behind it because of the wheels that I put in, and other spots don't. All right, now before you put them on, because I already made this mistake and had to take one apart, you put this nut on first. See, it comes with a nut on the bottom. And then you put this one on. And that's what's used to support, kind of firms up the connection if you have to use the leveling feet. So, you bring it to the level that you want, and then you tighten it up by turning this nut up. Probably everybody knows that. And actually, what I was doing was I brought it down so that it would hold this up. That way
held into the right place while I work. So we'll do this one the same. The right place there. Yep. I'll tighten it up with my, power screwdriver there. So that's one coat of Helmsman, and I might do another one, but I'm going to have to let it dry quite a bit. I'll probably do another light sanding before I do that, but I'm going to let it dry a couple of days, so it will be off camera really. Yep. Yeah, worked out pretty well. I think this is going to be really useful for me as a workbench. It has the shelves in here. Pretty nice. Yeah, it's cleaned up a lot. I'm just not slamming doors shut because I want the paint to dry really, really well before I start knocking it around a little. So that's why it's open. But yeah, it makes good use of a piece of trash. So I'm pretty happy with it. I love the color. If you don't grab mist tints when you can, you really should think about it. If I wanted to, I could add calcium carbonate to that paint to make it a more chalky finish, but I like it just the way it is. It's probably a really good paint for cabinets. So yeah, I think once it's really cured, it will be nice. And as long as I don't beat on the top before I completely finish it with another coat of a nice spar urethane, it should work out well. I love the leveling feet. That's going to be really helpful. So yeah, I didn't know it was so easy. It's incredible. It's going to make such a difference because these are all plates, metal plates in the floor, and so they rock and really can wreak havoc when you're trying to roll across the floor or to maintain a level surface. So yep, it's completely finished. It took me quite a while. Took me quite a while to do, and I actually broke it once. So that's when I was taking it off of the stand to get it flat on the floor. And of course, instead of rolling it down the plank, it actually fell off the plank. And so I had to repair it. But yeah. Thank you for watching the video. This week, actually for the past several weeks, but this week's video is a restyle of a large sideboard that one of my neighbors was throwing in the trash. And he was kind enough to, I went out and said, "Oh, can I have your trash?" And so he kindly said yes. And he and his daughter carried it up here for me. It was kind of a tall sideboard. It's vintage. It's not really an antique. Probably, maybe 1940s. So it's old. But I cut the top off and I cut the bottom off. And I did some blocking underneath so that I could put casters on it. And I have 6 casters. I have some in the middle because this is such a large piece. The shelves were warped, and so I took them out and I fixed the bottom to the floor again
I cut some new shelves out of some plywood. I took the hardware off and just cleaned it up and then put some gilding wax on it. And they're really pretty. The drawer works well. Yeah, the top, I guess the top wasn't on. The top fell off, so I never saw the actual original top. But I think it's mahogany, the wood. And what I did was I did a few small minor repairs, and I painted it with some enamel paint that I got as a mist tint. And then this is a chalk paint with some spar urethane on top. And yeah, I was going to decorate the back. Let me get a little closer. So, yeah, I do like the color. The color's really pretty. And I painted the back, but you know, it's just a big surface of plywood that I didn't really fill in. The top I did, so this was really, really grooved and, you know, like a typical plywood would be. First I put putty on it and I didn't think that was good enough. So I actually made a couple of different solutions of putty slurry and sanded it down again, and that gave me a really good surface. So yeah, I'm happy with it. So yep, thanks again. Have a good rest of your weekend. I wish you all good and beautiful things, and I'll see you soon. Take care.